We're going to go over some basic instructions.
I got you.
Don't make me misbehave before we start. Okay.
All right, we're going to go over some basic instructions here. Don't bang the table. So if you do this or you're pounding, you hear how it picks up on the microphones, and I can't do anything about that. So try to keep your hands below. Who's handsy person? Who's Italian? All right, just try to avoid that and talk into the microphone. Do you have any questions for us? How's the nerves? We're friendly.
I'm a little nervous, but we'll see how it goes.
All right. I think we are set. We've got a good group here. You guys are professionals, and I think I am good to go. 3 and 2 and 1. Welcome to episode 97 of Black, White, and Blue in the South, the podcast covering Democratic politics with a Southern flair. I'm Bill Kimler.
I'm Jumelle Brooks.
And we're coming to you from Greenwood, South Carolina. Wait.
Hey.
I meant we are coming to you live from Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah.
A little red county and wait a minute.
You can't say that part.
A somewhat blue county in a rather red state. Jumelle, these off-site recordings are killing me.
I know.
I can't do this.
We got
It's
it.
throwing my routine out of whack. I'm an old man. I can't have my routine thrown out of whack like this. So no more off-site recordings. My whole vibe is off.
No, it's not. Go.
If you like what you hear and think others ought to be listening as well, then leave a rating for our show. Write a short review. Tell your friends about us. Interact with us on social media. Or better yet, if you are a candidate for State House in South Carolina and you are sitting in your car at a red light and you see in your rear view mirror a dump truck rolling at you with no signs of slowing down, then step on that damn gas pedal and get out the way. Otherwise, your back will be messed up, impacting your ground game during the campaign. Jumelle, what do you think of that advice?
That's crap.
Oh, it's crap advice, huh? You're saying it's crap.
No, it's actually very good advice.
In fact, inform our audience what happened to you since we last recorded.
I was sitting at the red light, waiting on the arrow to go green, and the dump truck hit me in the back. Dang, he got sound. You're wrong for that.
That's right.
He is not lying. It was a whole dump truck. So I was in between two. One of them made the light, and then there was me. And the one behind me clearly didn't see me. And when I looked up, there was nothing but the grill of the dump truck in the back. Yeah.
And you got whacked from behind.
I did.
Were you hospitalized? Was your car wrecked completely? What happened?
No. The car wasn't wrecked completely. We do have back damage. It was a new car, so it didn't even have a tag.
You're talking about the car had back damage or you had back damage?
We both have back damage at this point. But, yeah, so you know how that
How has
goes.
it affected your ability to campaign the way you want?
So my door knocking is a little slack because it's got a little limp to it, but I'm making it up and down.
I was joking with you the other day. We were out there campaigning, and you're walking with one hand on your hip, the other in the air, like you're Fred Sanford from Sanford and Son, saying, I'm coming.
Listen,
like
these people better get their behinds out and vote because I'm out there disabled saying, get your behinds out here.
Well, a bully for you for still putting up the fight and not just laying in bed, which I know you want to do.
Yeah.
But you're really plowing through it. What's your medical care look like? What do you got coming up?
Oh, those are the possible MRIs and the whole spine visit that I'm not looking forward to.
Wow.
I would say, give me some PT. Let me try, because my whole goal is don't slow me down right now. You remember last time, election cycle? What was out? What did I have done? Knee surgery.
Oh, that's right. You had knee surgery.
So here we go again.
Yeah. The last time I ran, what happened?
You got injured.
Yes, I broke my arm.
You broke your arm.
September of campaign season. Yeah. And I was actually out there. This is the most embarrassing story.
Yeah.
I was out there doing the door knocking, and I literally tripped in somebody's driveway, took 5 stumbles like Frankenstein's monster, and then landed on my left arm and broke my finger, broke my wrist. I was in a cast for 2 months, and that's when the hurricane hit too. Remember that hurricane that came through? I was useless as a one-arm bandit.
Yeah, but you were still out there though.
Very little.
Yeah.
I could not do the door because I had nothing to hold on to all the equipment with. When you're out door knocking, you got to have like 10 different things in your hands.
True.
Couldn't do it. Yeah. But that's still not as bad as the story of Katie Arrington. Do you remember who she is?
No.
Katie Arrington, she was running for U.S. Congress in this region, in District 1.
Okay.
She ran a campaign against Joe Cunningham. And back in June of 2018, she had just beaten Mark Sanford for the primary, the Republican primary. And then she got into a head-on collision on US 17 in Charleston County. A vehicle was traveling the wrong way on the road, struck her head on. The other driver was killed, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
And she and the passenger were laid up in a hospital for weeks. Joe Cunningham put his campaign on hold for a little bit while she recovered. But, talk about bad timing.
Yeah.
To get in that kind of a wreck during a campaign, you don't want that. But
No.
she had fractured vertebrae, multiple broken ribs, injuries to her feet, damaged aorta, internal bleeding, and it goes on and on. Lots of surgeries to put her back together.
Wow.
So as bad as it was for you and I.
It wasn't bad at all.
Right. And then, of course, there's that story of a U.S. Senate candidate from South Carolina who he actually died during his campaign. But we don't need to dive into that today. We can pass on that story for now. Well, let us know what you think by dropping us a note at...
Damn, you didn't let me get in front of that one.
You're going to have to take me laughing out of the video.
You were hit by that just like you were a dump truck.
Yes, I was.
Let us know what you think by dropping us a note at blackwhiteblueinthesouth@gmail.com. You can also interact with us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky. So take a quick peek at those award-winning show notes in your podcast app where you can find links to all of those accounts, the news items we talk about, and more.
We're going to take a hit for that one. We're going to take a hit for that one.
Be on national
Yes.
Jamil.
Socialists.
Jamil. I'm talking to Jamil.
Yes.
We are not in Kansas anymore.
No.
In fact, we're not even in Greenwood. Where are we?
I'm going to Charleston, back to my old shack in Charleston, Charleston. Hang my head up on the rack in Charleston, Charleston. I'm so full of joy today.
That is right. We are in Charleston.
That's not fair.
Charleston is a town that once had a law requiring citizens to carry weapons to church. Did you know that? They used to say, bring your Bible and your musket. That was the phrase here in Charleston. This is a town that once had a black majority population.
Yeah.
Back in 1820.
Back in the day.
A town whose nickname, Holy City, represents the religious diversity of this city, which is surprising to many South Carolinians. Would blow the minds off of us people in the upstate to know what the diversity is like down here in Charleston. And it's a town that very well may be America's capital of ghost stories.
Yeah.
More ghost stories per capita here than in any other city in the United States.
I believe it.
But we are not here as tourists. Oh no. We are here not to interview just one or two or three or four, but 5 candidates for office here in South Carolina, in Charleston, and some surrounding areas. And we can't wait to talk to them together. This is a wild bunch. But Jimmy, I'm going to ask you this.
Yes.
If a group of geese is called a gaggle and a group of lions is called a pride, what do you call a group of Democratic candidates?
Oh, man, you going to make...
I call them a hope.
Oh.
A hope. See, I can be sweet once in a while.
That was
so
sweet.
we truly have a hope of candidates with us today, and we're just about to get started with some introductions. But first, a black, white, and blue in the South programming note. We want to inform you, our dear listener, of the following. When we started this podcast back in 2023, we had weekly short episodes. And quite frankly, we didn't know what the heck we were doing.
No.
A year later, we went to a bi-weekly format with longer episodes. We dove deep into topics, had some lengthy interviews.
Yeah.
But now here in the summer of 2026, we are actually going to go back to the shorter format, weekly episodes, and we're going to take these bi-weekly recordings and break them up over into 2 parts so that you're going to get us in your ears on a weekly basis without me having to stress out about getting an entire hour and a half of editing done in 3 days, right? So we're going to be splitting these evenly into 2 parts.
Yeah.
And I think I've heard from some of our listeners that they would actually prefer the shorter episodes.
Yeah. I mean,
that the longer ones are a strain on their brain.
Yeah.
But I get it. I get it. Let us start with our interview. Are you ready for this, Jumelle? This is exciting.
Let's do it.
All right. Let me find my proper sound effect.
A black, white, and blue in the South exclusive.
We welcome to Black, White, and Blue in the South, Kelly Hough, Democratic candidate for State House District 114. We have Katie Crosby, Democratic candidate for State House District 44, and Ashley Painter, Democratic candidate for State House District 117. Yeah. Welcome to the show. And that's a wrap for this episode. They all look like deer in headlights.
No, they're ready. I can feel it. They're ready.
I do.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is just quickly go around the room for some brief introductions. How does that sound? So, Katie, we're going to start with you. Tell us a little bit about you, where you're from, and what you're running for.
So I'm Katie Crosby. I'm running in District 44, which is in Lancaster County, South Carolina. It is the part of Lancaster County that includes Indian Land and Van Wyck. And I am originally from Kannapolis, North Carolina. It's a mill town, which is now a research campus. So I am just a Charlotte region person, which sounds crazy because I live in South Carolina. But if you know the Lancaster and York County region of South Carolina, it is Charlotte region, but it is very much South Carolina pride as well. So I'm excited to also be visiting Charleston along with you guys, Bill and Jumelle, today.
Yeah.
And excited to be here as well.
Well, we're glad to have you. Let's turn our attention to Ashley Painter. Tell us about yourself, where you're from, where you're running, et cetera, et cetera.
My name is Ashley. I live in Somerville right now, and I'm from both Georgia and Pennsylvania. My mom's family is, born and raised in Georgia. My dad's family was Pennsylvania. I think of Georgia as my home, though, because that's where I was born. I'm running for House District 117.
What is that district? What is 117 made up of?
So Sangaree is a smaller portion of it, but Cane Bay, Nexton, Carnes Crossroads, that area. So where...
And this is in Berkeley County?
Mm-hmm. Okay. It's all in Berkeley County.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that's exciting. Thank you.
That's good.
And then Ms. Hough?
Hi, I'm Kelly, and I'm running for House District 114. I'm a registered nurse of close to about 10 years, a mom of 4. Dorchester County is like kind of like Somerville, and then Charleston County, so parts of West Ashley, where we are right now, are parts of where my district covers.
From what I saw, it's evenly split practically, voter count-wise, between the two counties.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And we've got a lot of development in the Dorchester County area, a lot of people moving from different states, so I'm pretty excited because a lot of them are reaching out to me and just excited to have a different option.
Yeah.
This go around.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy because, as we know, and we've been touting this almost every episode, for the first time in decades in South Carolina, every House seat is being challenged. So first of all, we are winning because we have your names on the ballot and people do have a choice. Do you know in your district if it went unchallenged the previous year? So in Ashley, your case, it did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so the Republican didn't even have to raise a dime to run. He could just scoot on through, right? So
and
now
the
he's got a
best part
challenger.
is he thanked people for electing him back to the state house.
Oh.
Right, right. Like what else was going to happen when you're the only name on the ballot?
If it's you and nobody,
nobody should have won that one.
Right.
How about you, Kelly? Was it challenged before?
Actually, yeah. He had 2 challengers previously, and we all talk to each other, so.
Oh, good.
Okay, good.
And then, Katie, you've actually run for this seat before, right?
Yes, twice.
All right, so this is your third go-round.
Yes.
That's awesome, and appreciate the persistence. Some of our heroes have taken 3-4 times to finally win. You can take a look at our friend, Representative Heather Bauer.
Yes.
She was multiple times running before she finally cracked through, and now she's one of the strongest voices for her district in the state house.
Absolutely. She is one of my heroes. I look up to her so much.
Well, you have to because she's 7 feet tall. So we all have to look up to her. There's no doubt about that. Ashley, I'm going to start with you. You look like, and please excuse me if I'm wrong, but maybe the youngest of the group here.
I'm 33.
Oh.
I'm 41, so she's definitely younger than me.
32.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hey, congratulations. I'm 75, so I'm terrible. I'm an ancient man.
I can tell.
Yeah, and I feel every year of that. But I do want to start with you, Ashley, in terms of what inspired you to say, shoot, I'm bored with my life. I've got nothing going on. I'm looking to fill my time. A state house run would do that perfectly. Or was it some other decision-making process that enticed you to run for office?
So it definitely was not boredom, and it was not lack of having a full schedule. I have 2 children. I'm married. I run a small photography business, and, I'm completing graduate school for social work.
Wow.
Yeah. Honestly, I was looking for more ways to get involved. And I had been involved with Charleston County Dems. And then, I was like, well, I live in Berkeley County, so I need to reach out to Berkeley and see what I can do for them because they're a lot more quiet than the Charleston County Dem Party. And so I emailed them. And, of course, because nobody's information is private anymore, when I emailed them, they were able to pull up my name. And, since I'm a registered voter and had voted before, they pulled up my House district. And there was this big push this year to get people in every seat, as we know. And it just so happened that I live in House District 117, and they were specifically looking for somebody to run in that seat for the Democratic Party. And when I asked what I could do to help as a volunteer, Ralph Prelu, I think he's the third party chair
he's
of
the
the
third
state
vice
party.
chair of the state party, yes.
He emailed me back and he was like, well, here's the link for how you can volunteer. But would you consider running against Jordan Pace? And I was like, first, I had never heard of him. I didn't know who he was. And
we know him, Jumelle, don't we?
Yeah.
I was trying to fix my face when she said his name.
I know who he is now. So,
well, let's dive into it. Why is he so special in terms of, people needing to know who he is?
Ooh.
This is exactly why I decided to run, knowing that he had been unchallenged and of course, like having my social work values, like, in my blood. He's not a good person. He is responsible for a bill that would impose the death penalty on women and doctors for accessing and helping have obtained abortion care. Something that he adamantly denies and says that it's not true. And it's so frustrating because, we've all seen the bill.
Yeah.
He's been interviewed about it and he acknowledged that it was, in fact, able to happen. He called it infinitesimal, though. That doesn't mean it won't happen.
Exactly.
It means it still could.
Exactly.
It's either fix the bill or not. You can't dance
Exactly.
around, well, that's not what it means. Well,
Yeah.
it's what it says. He is also the leader of the House Freedom Caucus.
Yep.
Yes.
Remember that group? That lovely group. Who was the co-founder of that?
I know this one.
Go ahead.
Wait,
RJ May.
You got it. Hold on. We want to
now
give you
don't take me down that road with RJ. Isn't that
So-
odd?
I know. And
like how your founder was convicted of child sex exploitation materials and the Freedom Caucus still exists after that
Still.
is an
And
embarrassment.
they haven't said a peep.
No.
They
No.
are still coasting under that lunatic. Like, if we
Yeah.
blink, he gonna go away. Go ahead. Don't let me start on that.
No,
Go
it's
ahead.
okay. But
Yeah.
this is also a part of it. I learned
Yeah.
about that. I read the ethics report that had come out about and how Jordan Pace refused to comply with
Yeah.
it. He minimized his involvement with that down to he accused me of taking just portions of a footnote of information. And I was like, dude, you're in at least 24 of those pages, specifically. There's more. I did not take a footnote worth of information and turn it into this, and everybody can read that.
Well, I ran against a very tough Republican opponent. You might have heard the name John McCravey, and I ran against him twice, and he's right there in terms of a despicable political viewpoint. While the chance of me winning was small, still the ability to raise awareness on his record and things he says and point them out is valuable.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right? Otherwise, they go completely unchallenged.
Don't let them try to minimize the value of that footnote. If that dude was anywhere in a bill that was that demeaning to the woman's intellect, he is just as guilty as any other component in it. So he can take that footnote crap and go somewhere else. He's guilty and he is sick.
Well,
But I'm going to hold on. I'm going to let y'all go with him because I don't want to.
I'm going to turn to Katie right
Hurry
now
up,
just to
hurry up,
keep
Bill.
things going.
Hurry up, Bill.
Katie, your opponent I've never heard of, Mike Neese. He has not popped up in any of my committee hearings, nothing. I mean, the guy just asleep, sitting in his seat and just coasting?
He shows up. He's marked present, and then he don't vote.
All right, so Katie, would you vote if elected to the House of Representatives?
Katie.
Yes. Sorry, I had to filter out some very strong words there. Yes, I will vote. Yes. But you don't stand for anything, you fall for everything.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
want to
t-shirt.
get there and vote. I taught elementary school. I taught my third graders that you stand up for what you believe in. And I will never forget my little kid, my precious student. I can't tell you his name, but his name started with an N, so we will call him Nick.
Okay.
My little baby boy, Nick. I taught my kids about bullying every year and how it's not enough to wait until bullying happens and then tell a trusted adult. we stop bullying before it happens. We prevent bullying. We prevent bullying in our classrooms, right? We prevent bullying wherever we go in the world. And if we teach our students that, then when they grow up, they become upstanding citizens. And that's what we taught our students in my classroom. That's what I taught them. That's what I encouraged their parents to teach them at home as well. And we worked together. Parents, teachers, families, everybody in the school, we worked together to create a society where we stop bullying before it happens. And that's
I'm guessing
what
you're encountering bullying in the house?
Oh, right. That's what we're doing. That's what we're all doing here together, is to create a better world that we want to live in. I learned that from my intern, by the way, that line, that we're doing this to create the community that we want to live in. And I'm bringing this back to my opponent because we have to be proactive to do that. So my student, Nick, my little third grader, when I was teaching him this in the classroom, he said, Mrs. Crosby, we have to be upstanders, not bystanders. My opponent is being a bystander in the house. He shows up, but he does not vote on important bills. And that's why you don't know his name. That's why when I knock on doors in my community and I talk to voters and I say, I'm running for the South Carolina House and I want to know what local issues are important to you. I'm running because I want to make sure you have strong schools and I want to make sure you have safe roads and I want to make sure you have affordable health care. I want to know what's important to you. They say, no one's ever knocked on my door before. No one's ever called me on the phone before. So maybe I don't agree with you on everything, but ma'am, you have my vote. And I cannot stop doing this until I get there.
And it's cumulative because you have run 2 other cycles and you've done the door knocking there as well. So it will add up over time.
And the numbers are adding up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's turn over to Kelly. Talk about your political situation here and give me first the impetus that got you to say, yeah, I'm going to run this time around. Because I've watched your videos, by the way. I really do enjoy your social medias. And especially one in particular, you're giving a lecture on female reproductive business, right? Because you were just so upset by what bills were passing. So was that the motivator for you to run for office, or did it go even before then?
You know, I think I've always been quietly passionate in my head about a lot of these things. But when I was seeing what I felt like the world was imploding, like our country altogether, I said, I don't have to look at this through a screen. I can go out and like get involved and actually do something. So I started talking to a couple of different people. One person in particular, Michelle Brandt, who actually,
we know Michelle.
Yeah, she is somebody who I ended up talking to probably first and foremost to kind of get involved in running. And that's kind of what motivated me. I said, I just want to actually be able to do something and fight the good fight.
Did she actively recruit you, call you up and say, Kelly, I want you to run for office?
So I would say that I talked to a friend of a friend. Her name's Janet Bates. She tries to work on child care tax credits through an organization called the Chamber of Mothers that I'm involved in. And I was working on the child care tax credits and trying to research things. How can we make this, workable? How can we get people to kind of like feel like maybe it's a good option? Because obviously we know child care is very expensive. And I actually met Michelle because I wasn't involved in the reproductive part of the Chamber of Mothers, and there was nobody to go to a ban on certain abortion-inducing medications, and that's actually how I ended up going. I was the only one available to go, and I was like, oh man, the first time I go down there to testify, it's going to be about abortion rights, which is fine with me, but you know how we were viewed as like democratic socialist. I didn't get to. I did sign up. I had everything ready, and I was like ready to go, but I didn't get selected.
I have never testified there. Anybody here testified? Because I know some people who have, and it seems like it could be the most intimidating thing in the world to do. And so I find it brave. But there are people that every time I tune in to watch those committee hearings, it's the same names over and over, and you start to get to know them like they're friends. Right?
It's very interesting to go testify. If you've never been just to sit there, it's really interesting because you can see that some people go there repetitively, and they are genuinely selected just to like kind of beef up the other aspect of this. And then there's people there that are like genuinely like, please don't do this. This can't happen.
I'll tell you what's frustrating to me is having watched hundreds of hours of these testimonies and these hearings is how little difference it makes in changing the minds of people who have sit down, the lawmakers, and their minds are already made up.
Right.
Sometimes I don't think that's what it's for.
Right.
I think when you approach that podium, you already know they've made their minds up, but you also know that there's a chance that this clip might make it out. So if you know you can't change the minds of the elected officials, you can work on the people who vote for those elected officials.
That is an excellent
Look at what
point.
happened with the redistricting.
Yeah.
How many hearings? How many testifiers?
Yeah.
They already had their minds made up.
Right.
It did.
And it's a super majority. So
Yeah.
So, Ashley, what are the issues that are driving you in your campaign here? If you were to say this is what you want to be known for as the blank candidate?
my number one goal, if not the only thing I can accomplish, is healthcare for children. We don't have a CHIP program here in South Carolina. We don't have expanded Medicaid. My family in particular is in that percentage of people who makes too much money to qualify for healthcare assistance, but doesn't make enough to comfortably afford healthcare. So we have healthcare, but we can't afford to use it. It breaks my heart for my children. It breaks my heart for other people's children because we recently had an incident at my house where my toddler fell and he hit his head. And I would have loved to have rushed him to the emergency room just to make sure he was okay. He wasn't bleeding. He didn't have a bump. He didn't have a dent. We've been through head trauma with our older son before, and we had the ability to take him to the emergency room and get that, the scans to make sure he was okay. We couldn't do that this time because we already have hospital bills from when the same child, Henry, our toddler, he has no immunity to pneumonia, the virus that causes pneumonia. So we have thousands of dollars from MUSC Children's Hospital because the insurance that we have, they hardly pay anything.
Yep.
And, and then the hospital gives a discount to the insurance company, but then the insurance company will pay $30 and we'll get stuck with $5,000 or $8,000.
Yeah.
And that's the funny thing. They say, when we talk about Medicaid and so on, they want people to work, right? But I've got a job, you got a job, but it doesn't mean that because you're working and have health insurance that health insurance is worth anything.
But I think you summed it up really well, and I don't think I've ever heard it said that way. And y'all know I'm crazy about healthcare and insurance. But you said you have insurance, but you can't afford to use it.
Exactly.
That should have pissed off everybody that is working every day.
Yep.
You got it, and you can't use it. And the same for those that are, I've been on this thing with Medicaid recipients. We can expand Medicaid all day, but one of the things we also need to look at from a House perspective is that we also challenge and write in a way that it increases the reimbursements for the providers, because you can have that insurance, but they may not accept it. And so you still are without a healthcare provider. And I think those are the things that I would like to see people get elected and go to the House and work on. We have insurance, but we can't afford to use it.
Yeah. And I just want to touch base on the working thing. My family works. My husband is a hard ass worker.
Yeah.
He is boots on the ground. He is with the railroad. He's not in a union, though, so we don't get to take advantage of those union railroad benefits.
Okay.
I mean, this is a non-union state.
Yes.
So it's funny whenever MAGA people throw that at me. Well, your husband works for the railroad. Isn't he in the union? No, he's not.
Yeah.
But he's a hard worker. He beats his body up to make sure that we have energy here. And everybody's fed. The stores are stocked with food, everything.
Yeah.
And we're still suffering.
Yeah.
We are not working.
Exactly.
I own a small business. I do everything that I can. My husband works as hard as he can, and we're still suffering. And
there's still a
that's the
gap.
point.
There's a gap.
Katie, what's the primary issues that are driving you in your campaign?
I love asking people, every voter I talk to, I ask them, what are your top local issues? And because I can tell you all day long what my issues are. I'm a former elementary school teacher. I want to make sure that our public schools are fantastic. Education is the most powerful weapon we have to change the world. Nelson Mandela said that, but he's entirely right. I live in Indian Land. It's one of the fastest growing areas of the state. So I want to make sure that our growth and infrastructure and roads are fantastic. And they are very far from that. South Carolina has more mileage of public roads managed by the state than California. South
It's an
Carolina
incredible
has
stat. You're right. You're absolutely right.
more roads managed by the state than California. It's crazy. We were just talking about healthcare. Healthcare in South Carolina, even for working people, even if you have health insurance, is unattainable. Even if you have the health insurance and the money to pay for it, there aren't healthcare providers that you can go see who are quality in a reasonable amount of time, who can see you.
And can the state legislator fix that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What would they need to do?
The state legislature passes the budget. Wait, the state legislature is supposed to pass the budget.
True.
The state legislature holds the keys to funding the SCDOT, who is supposed to maintain our roads. By the way, I went on their website. I have to brag on them for a minute. Someone sent me an email as I'm running for office and said, I had a terrifying experience at this intersection. I almost got hit by an 18-wheeler who ran a red light as I was taking my kid to school. Can you do anything about this? So I went to the SCDOT website. I said, someone almost got hit by an 18-wheeler at this intersection. Can you look at the timing of the light situation? And they called me back. Isn't that incredible? So imagine what we could do if we fully funded our SCDOT. And they could call everybody back who had an issue. What if they could tell all of our South Carolina citizens that they could put in information when they had a pothole or a problem with an intersection? That would be incredible.
That's what I hear is what's happening in New York City under Mamdani. They're saying that if somebody tags the city in a pothole, that they're actually watching it get fixed within 24 hours, something that they've never seen before.
Amazing.
And just that type of responsiveness really will buy a good partnership between the citizens and the government.
Yeah.
So, Kelly, you're a first-time candidate here. What's been the craziest thing about campaigning that you've encountered so far?
I don't know that I have like a craziest thing. I think probably just trying to get used to being more public. For a while, I definitely stayed offline and off social media, and I'm like very private about most things. But once this kind of ramped up, I was like, that's not going to be a thing anymore.
Yeah, going
Probably
from a private to public profile is a big shift.
Yeah. Because, like when you're on the internet, people really want to nitpick every little thing about your life.
Right.
If like she and I have a video together and she's like thinking in her head, oh man, I have bubble gut right now. And she makes a face, you're going to be like, her friend doesn't look like she wants to be there. Like,
you're doing videos together? Are you campaigning together?
Well, we probably should be doing videos together.
It would be wild.
You were followed, remember, at the beginning?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like followed as in stalked?
Yeah, I did actually have a car that like chased me down, and they waited at the high school, and I thought, oh, but they turned into the high school. Maybe
Was
they're
it
a high
dump
schooler.
Truck?
Probably. You know what? It's probably
I didn't
the
know if
same
it was
person.
the same truck, right?
Probably the same person.
It might be.
Yeah, no, they waited for me at the high school, turned around like a police officer, and waited for me to drive by, and then like mowed me down. And so I had to call 911. I'm like shaking. All their windows were blacked out.
And this was after you had announced your candidacy?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is scary because there are genuine creeps out there.
Yeah.
And so you have to be vigilant. But again, you can't shelter yourself because you have to be out there in front of the people. You can't be put off by that.
Other stuff would be like press release comments, like she's too hot to be a Democrat, something's wrong, like she's a secret Republican, she's gonna have an OnlyFans account, stuff like that.
There's some dumbass people out there.
Those were some of the crazier things. And
are you saying your opponent Gary Brewer doesn't get comments of whether he has an OnlyFans account?
I haven't noticed any of his.
Probably Grindr.
What were you going to say? You have a...
No, I have a 24-year-old daughter, and she was like, Mom, and I was like, don't look. And she was like, but you're my mom, and they're saying these things. And I was like, just don't look.
Yeah.
I
told my boys that. I said, before we even go down this road, just know that I'm not going to respond, and don't you respond.
Right.
But it's hard. It's hard
is.
when they see it.
Yeah, I got one the other day, and I have a 15-year-old son, and he was like, who said what?
Yeah.
And he like tried to find it, and I was like, just get off your phone. Do not go down this road.
Yeah.
Ashley, when you, on election night and the returns come in and you have the upset of the century and remove the leader of the Freedom Caucus.
Please, Ashley.
What are the opening lines of your acceptance speech or your victory speech that night?
Oh my gosh.
And if you need to use language, go right ahead.
I haven't really thought about it. Really just, I'll probably be overwhelmed. I definitely will cry. I'll probably just like fall into my husband's arms. And I think the first thing I'll do is just thank the volunteers, thank the supporters. And, once that's done, I'll probably say, you, Jordan Pace.
Yeah.
Pray for me now. He wrote me a letter.
Is that your campaign slogan, by the way? Is that your T-shirt?
No, No.
He wrote you a letter. Your opponent wrote you like a in the mail letter
on monogrammed stationery, JSP at the top. Yeah, he sent it to my campaign PO box over.
To say what?
That he's praying for me and that I need to repent and that only God can forgive me for the deceitfulness that I put out. And I was like, what the fuck?
Well, did he ask God to check on RJ?
No.
While he was checking on people passing out blessings?
That was my response. I was like, my response to you is to, and I did it on social media because I'm not going to waste a stamp on him.
Yeah.
I was like, pray for the victims of RJ May.
Yes.
Pray for the victims of child sexual abuse and exploitation. Don't pray for, I don't need your prayers. Like, I would love for prayers from people who are actually praying for my benefit.
Yeah.
But I can guarantee you his prayers are not for my benefit.
Oh, no.
Katie, what aspect of running for office do you like the least?
Do I like the least?
Mm-hmm. What part of it? Or do you love every single part of it and you can do this all day long, every day, year round?
Do I like the least? Writing postcards. the handwritten postcards that we send out. I do not like handwriting the postcards. However, I am so grateful that I have a handwriting postcards army of supporters. They are fantastic. When I need handwritten postcards sent out, I have the best volunteers. I send out an email to all of my volunteers and I get just an abundance of people who say, send me the postcards. I will buy the stamps. I will handwrite the postcards. And then they have their own like clubs of people. They will host their own parties. They will just get postcards by the hundreds and invite their friends over and have wine and cheese and handwrite postcards to voters. And it's amazing. So it works out really well that I don't like handwriting the
What kind of wine and cheese are we talking about? This is critical information.
I don't know.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's do a wrap-up. We're going to go around real quick, and I'm going to let you have final words, what you want to leave to your constituents, what you want to leave to the people who are listening. And, of course, all of these candidates have websites and social medias and places where you can donate, and you will find all of those in our show notes. But I'll give you a chance for some final words as we wrap up. So, Kelly, I'll start with you.
Okay, well, thank you for having me, first of all, and I'm really honored to be here with all of you guys. I'm so excited. But some things that I would like for voters to take away is just that we want to work on tax transparency, affordability for gas, groceries, housing, childcare, healthcare, education. Those are some of the bigger issues. Education, if we have money to gerrymander, we have money to pay teachers, right? We have money to pay for our students to be fed in schools, right? Like we have it, it's there. And healthcare, I mean, as Ashley said, it's a pretty big deal. I work in healthcare. You have no idea how many people we see. I have personally seen, and as an ICU nurse, that are like, well, I just didn't want to come because I didn't want to pay the emergency bill. And they're in the ICU. Like it went too far. And I think that we're at a place where we know that that gap is so big, we can close it. It's one of the biggest wealth gaps we've ever seen before. It is not a big secret that we can close the wealth gap enough to be able to adjust all these little areas.
Right. You know, it kills me. If you're a Republican running for office, you are not allowed to say the word affordability. You are not allowed to run on that issue as if you just discovered that people are telling you prices are too high.
Right.
You have been in charge in this state for decades. Take that word affordability out your damn mouths. It does not belong there. This is the Democrats' issue. You guys had your chance. It's time to move on. So, Ashley, I'll give you your final statement here.
The thing that I want to push the most is that if you're a listener and you don't know who Jordan Pace is, you really need to look him up. Look up the Freedom Caucus. There are other candidates, state house candidates running against the Freedom Caucus. And to piggyback off what you said about Republicans not being able to say the word affordability, the Freedom Caucus is a different breed of Republican. They're not even Republicans in my book. They are far-right extremists, and they are poisoning the Republican Party, in my opinion. So there's nothing that they are accomplishing being in the state house. It's a wasted seat. It's wasted money from taxpayers paying their salaries, making sure that they have the best health insurance from the state, by the way. And we need to get them voted out. Like, I want to highlight Josiah Magnuson, who's freaking insane.
Oh, yeah. He's a highlight in our show.
He wrote a manifesto. It's crazy. It's like 90 pages of bullcrap. And he is a representative and he needs to be voted out. I think he might be even worse than Jordan Pace. I don't know how he's not the chair of the Freedom Caucus. For the people listening, especially if you're moderate or like a swing voter, I just want to say, I'm willing to work across the line. I'm willing to compromise with people. That's what my job is as a social worker. I reach compromises with people. I listen to all sides. I am a negotiator. I'm a listener. I'm an empath. Jordan Pace is not that. He is only concerned about the agenda of the Freedom Caucus, which is the agenda of Christian nationalism.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to vote these people out. They are a danger to the entire United States.
Amen.
Correct.
And Katie, your final words.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you, Bill and Jumelle, for having us on here. Thank you, everybody in this room right now. I just want to reinforce that I'm sitting in this room because of each of you, not just because of the Democratic Party, because each of you as individuals who are running or supporting candidates, you're doing this because you believe that our legislators should be fighting for the voters. Mm-hmm. And they should be representing the people's needs. And just that word affordability you brought up shows that, right? So what I want voters to know, what I want constituents to know is that I want to hear from you. And I can say that everybody on this podcast believes the same way. That's why I have chosen to be in this room, is because I can vouch for every single one of you. If you find any of us on our social media and send us a message, it goes directly to us as the candidates, right? You send us a message through our website, through that contact form or an email, it goes directly to us as the candidates, not just to a team or to an employee or to a whoever, right? So if you send us a message about an accident at an intersection, we're going to be able to go to the SCDOT or go to whoever it needs to go to and advocate for fixing that for you. If you send us a message about a healthcare issue, we're going to be able to go to bat for you, right, even if we're not elected yet, because that's why we're doing this. I'm tapping the table like you told me not to. I get so passionate. I can't help it.
Listen, let me just say, so I'm over here just like grinning all hard while Katie's talking, because this is truly her passion. Her passion has not changed. In how many years has it been? Oh my God. I don't know how many years it's been since I've met her, but this is just who she is. She is passionate about helping people and promoting people. And you hear that in her.
I do.
That is so cool. I keep grinning when you say something. I'm thinking, yep, that's her.
Am I allowed to say two things about these two ladies?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
We're running out of time for this love fest.
You don't have to keep it.
We'll just imagine that you all love each other. We get it.
Well, Katie has been very helpful to me when I've been super confused about anything IT related. And when I'm just getting really down, she really encourages me, because I'm a first time candidate. And it is her passion. She is so passionate about it. And I'm telling you, she's so informative about everything that she teaches me. And Ashley has been absolutely wonderful and inspiring. And I enjoy watching her because she's super fun to watch. I love all of her stuff. But she's not just telling you to look up Jordan Pace because she's look him up. She's saying, if you vote for him or if you do not vote for me, you are at risk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You are at risk
Indeed.
if you do not vote for her.
Yeah.
Among the three of you, who would win in a pickup basketball game?
What? Bill?
Not me.
Not me.
Well, I played basketball last night, so it's me.
I knew it.
Bill.
And that's a wrap for this episode of Black, White, and Blue in the South. Thank you to Kelly Hough, Katie Crosby, and Ashley Painter for not only spending time with us today, but for stepping up and taking on the great challenge of running for State House here in South Carolina. Your success will be success for everybody. Thank you also to Pastor Thomas Dixon and the Charleston County Democratic Party for use of your headquarters as our recording studio. Next week, we'll have part 2 of this episode, where we chat with 2 more wonderful candidates from Charleston County. You won't want to miss that. We hope you enjoyed what you heard today. You can catch the video version of this episode on our YouTube channel and short video clips across all of our social media channels. Please take a quick minute. Leave us a rating and review of this show. We really want to know what you think. Your reviews help others find us and spread the word about our show. If you do, we will envelop Jumelle in a 10-inch layer of bubble wrap to ensure that she is safe from any further physical harm for the duration of her campaign.
Bubble wrap, please.
If you are, you see her rolling down the streets as she's campaigning, you'll know why. If you are a blue dot in a red sea, keep the faith. Keep up the hard work. Change only happens over many years of work and dedication. Today's closing quote comes from the great author James Baldwin. He said, "Talent is insignificant. I know a lot of talented ruins. Beyond talent lies the usual words: discipline, love, luck, but most of all, endurance."
Good one. That's a good one. The end.
The preceding podcast is solely owned by the host or hosts and is distributed by Big Media LLC. Copyright 2026.